Hey there, you guys. So I'm back on my phone, at least for the next however many videos. I just don't have the ability to edit with my camera on my mom's computer. So for now, we're using the old school way. Um, so this will be not as edited, not as perfect. It'll be kind of longer probably just because I have so much to fill you guys in on. And yeah, so first thing on the table is to kind of talk about a couple of books that I have recently finished. I'm I've been in kind of a big reading slump, so I haven't finished that many books recently. But I have finished two books really recently that are amazing. One of them I read in 2018. One of them I read right at the end of 2017. So the first is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This book was amazing. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I can't even begin to describe how much I enjoyed this book because it was one of those things. I ended up reading it at work and it was a very bad idea because there were a lot of emotions, and so I was like, I can't. How am I doing this? So it was amazing. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I was so happy. It was so worth the wait for John to have not released not released a book for 5 years. But it was so good, and I pre-ordered and got a signed copy. Where's the little J Scribble? So that was awesome. And then the other book that I just finished last night, I literally read it in 24 hours because it was so good, was Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. I am crazy obsessed with Lauren Oliver now. I have read both Replica and Ringer, and they are both such amazing books. And now I've read Before I Fall, and now I just have to read the rest of her books because this book was amazing. And again, I don't really want to talk about it because I'm worried I'm going to spoil things if I talk about the plot or anything like that. But long story short, it's basically there's also a movie about it, so you've probably seen the trailer. You've probably heard of this book because this book has been out for I don't even know how long. This was Lauren Oliver's first book, so she's written a lot of things in between that time, and it was amazing. And I don't want to talk about the plot, but I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good, and I just wish I could reread it for the first time. The next thing, I'm putting books on the floor, so just don't ignore me. The next thing I want to just chat about is books that I'm currently reading. It's one of those things that I have a couple of books that I'm currently reading and trying to get through, whether that be now or 6 months from now. I honestly don't know. The first one I just started rereading again because it's just a bunch of short stories, so I'm just kind of picking them up as I think about them, and that is My True Love Gave to Me, which is by a whole bunch of people and edited by Stephanie Perkins. I'm probably like 4 or 5 stories into this, and there's 12 stories in it. I'm enjoying them all so far. They're super holiday themed, which is really nice, and it's nice that I can just pick up a story here and there whenever I feel like it or have time or just want to read something a little short and things like that. So I'm currently in the middle of this, and then I'm also still in the middle of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I'm only a chapter in. I think I've literally only read, I've only read chapter 1. These books are so intimidating. Even though I know I'm going to love them, I just still don't want to read them. So I have all 7 books, as you can see behind me over there. So it's like I want to read them and I want to get through them, but I just haven't. So I will probably get through this one within the next month or so. But yeah, so I'm currently reading this. And then I'm also reading 2 classics as of right now. Well, I'm going to start one soon, but then I'm reading that one. I'm reading The Story Girl by Lucy Maud Montgomery. She wrote Anne of Green Gables, which, as most of you know, I loved those books when I read them. So I'm about probably a couple chapters into this. It's super short, and the font's pretty big because it's written for a younger audience, even though it's still technically a classic. It's only about 200 pages, so next time I sit down to read this, I should be able to fly through most of it, which is good. I like having some short stories here and there. And then I also really want to get to Little Women by Louise May Alcott. This is an illustrated version, so I'm choosing to read this one because I feel like it will kind of keep my attention a little bit better than the other couple of copies that I have because of the play that I wrote. But yeah, so I'm looking to get into this soon, whether that be within the next month or next few weeks, I don't know. But yeah, I want to get to this soon. Plus the pages are bigger, so I feel like it'll be easier to read a classic in this form. The next thing that I want to talk about is just kind of my resolutions, the updates on me, things I plan to do this year, things like that. I know a lot of booktubers have been coming out with their like 2018 bookish resolutions and how I read. Last year I read quite a bit, but not as much as I would have liked. I read, I think, like 42 books or something like that, maybe even less than that. I think maybe even under 40, maybe 38. And I enjoyed all of the books I read last year, or 95% of them. But I want to read more. I have 125 unread books on my bookshelves. Both of them are behind me. They're all filled with books that I haven't read. And it's one of those things that I'm putting myself on this book buying ban to not purchase any more books until most or all of these books are read. Or I get rid of them. That sort of thing. I'm making this kind of goal for myself that if I read 2 physical books, like 2 like fiction novels, I have the ability to purchase 1 book. So when down the road, when I'm itching to purchase a couple books, I'll be like, okay, I have 10 books that I could buy. I don't maybe want to use them all right now, but I could purchase that many books. Just kind of to keep myself on a little bit of a like reward system, I guess, for reading. And that will eventually decrease the number of books that I have on my TBR shelf so that one day I can buy books willy-nilly and read them all and it'll be fine. I also am still doing 0 by 19, so I hope to read the 125 books in a year. I don't think that's going to happen. There are quite a few people that have joined me on this journey, either on Twitter or on Goodreads, and go ahead and you can find those. I'll try and link them both down in the description if I remember. I'm gonna try. My Goodreads reading goal is 50 books. So right now I am on track according to Goodreads. I didn't want to do 125 because that's like reading like 2 books, 3 books a week, and that's not something that I want to pressure myself into doing. If I don't read 125 books in a year, that's fine. I have never read over 50 books in an entire year before. Well, I haven't for probably 5 or 10 years read that many books in this short amount of time. Especially when I was younger, I used to read all the time. I used to probably knock out 100 books in a year. I don't do that anymore. I rather enjoy the novel that I'm reading. And things like Before I Fall, if I end up liking them, I'll read them in 24 hours. And it's great and it's awesome. But that doesn't happen with every book, which is fine. Even if I read 50 books this year, I will be down to 75 books. And that is still something that is an amazing accomplishment for me. I haven't had a TBR under 100 in a very long time. It's probably been at least, well, since I started BookTube, because once I started BookTube, I found Book Outlet and bought a crap ton of books. And from then on, my TBR has just been growing and growing and growing, and I haven't had that many I haven't had a short TBR in a very, very long time. I used to have like no books that I had to read. I just buy books and read them, buy books and read them. Like that's just how I worked until I started BookTube. So right now I'm trying to read all the books that I have because I want to read them all. And if down the road I'm looking at my list and I'm like, I really don't want to read this book, I'm going to get rid of it because I don't have the room on my shelves anymore to house extra books. Even after I read some of these books, I'm still going to get rid of them because they just aren't in my interest anymore. But yeah, 2017 was an interesting year. I had a lot of accomplishments in terms of my theater and my life. I started a new job. I did 3 shows in the span of 3 months, which was awesome. 4 or 5 months probably actually, which was so much fun. I'm starting a new show here in the next few weeks. We're starting rehearsals for it. I'm meeting with the director in about a week and a half. So my personal life is going really, really well. I am loving my job. I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm loving all the theater stuff that I'm doing. So yeah, it's just one of those things, like I just need to work on having time to read and having the motivation to read in terms of getting this number down. Sooner rather than later, I hope to have up a video where I show you guys all of the books that I have to read. If you're curious, I have, I think, all of them, maybe I'm short a couple, in a list on Goodreads it's labeled like my current TBR shelf. So if you're friends with me on Goodreads or follow me on Goodreads, you can go ahead and look at that, and you'll know kind of what I have in terms of what my TBR books are. But other than that, I think that's it for this video today, guys. I'm sorry for the weird, rambly, unedited gobbledygook, but it's the only way, and I wanted to get a video out, and I wanted to get a video up, and I want to start uploading again. I haven't uploaded a video in like 2.5 months. So just like I haven't read in about 2.5 months, I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. After I finish this video and uploaded it, I plan to sit here and read. I got a new desk chair a few months ago, and so this is kind of also becoming my reading chair. It's really comfortable and I love it. So I'm really hoping to get some reading done today, as well as doing household chores and things like that. So yes, that is it. Oh wait, one more thing I was going to do is I remade my TBR shelf and my TBR jars. So I have 2 jars going now. I have this jar, which is full of all of the either standalones or the next in a series that I'm ready to read. And then I also have this, which is super colorful now, that this is all of the sequels and things like that. That way they don't get mixed up and I don't pull out like the Deathly Hallows when I haven't finished Goblet of Fire. So these are all of the next in line books, and these are all the sequels that I can't read yet because I haven't read these books. So that is that. I wanted to keep those separate, so I'm going to go ahead, just for the fun of it, I'm going to pull a book out of here. And it's actually pretty full, so we'll go ahead and do this one. Alrighty. Oh, The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making, which is down here somewhere. They're all in alphabetical order, so. So this is the book that I picked off of my TBR jar, so that will be on my TBR list as well, and it's pretty short, so I'll probably end up reading this, and I have the sequel to this as well, so there are multiple books in the series, not just 2. Oh, excuse me. But, yeah, so this is one of the next books that I'll end up reading. So, yeah. Anyway, that is it for this video today, guys, and I will keep you all posted and try and keep uploading more often than I have been in the past. Thank you. Bye!